For years now, the ANC has defied reality, its own reality of lack of leadership. They have turned a blind eye and shut their own ears to the cries of the people when they say that the people that the ANC has fielded to lead the country are not worthy of the positions that they're in. And those people went and destroyed the country, went and stole the country's monies, went and did not lead the country. And today, we have got dilapidated cities. We have got infrastructure that's falling apart. We've got an economy that's falling apart. We've got unemployment that's reaching 50%. That means that the people that were in leadership were not leading this country, but only doing whatever they could to fill their own pockets. So far, everybody in South Africa knows that the problem is the ANC leadership. That is the problem of the country. Only the ANC did not know that for 30 years. Well, let's listen to Thabo Mbeki as he speaks about this, and let's hear what he says actually is required to be done with the ANC. Let's listen in.
And it was the movement meant that. What the ANC was about was ensuring that the people get a better life. That hasn't changed. In terms of the focus of the real ANC will continue to say, our real task is to ensure a better life for the mass of our people. Of course, in the meantime, there are many, many other people, as you know, who entered the ANC, and the ANC has spoken about this very openly. That once we became a governing party, then we started attracting wrong people. People were interested in membership of the party. Comrade Convener raised this thing this morning when he spoke, not to pursue the objectives of the movement, but for self-betterment, self-enrichment, and things like that. And that's a problem. It doesn't change our focus as a movement, a better life for all our people. We are being honest about the state of the province. That as a movement, as an organization, we recognize the fact that there's a crisis. You can't drop from where we were to this 17% and think that there's no crisis. We want to address honestly the nature of our problems, honestly. I must also say, Comrade Chair, I'm very, very glad that for all of these hours that we've been here, we've only sang one song. I'm very, very glad. Truly, you know, I'm told that our Chinese comrades say that over the years they've spent quite a bit of time with our movement. And one of the things that puzzles them is, when does the ANC discuss policy? Because all the time it's singing and dancing. It's unfair. But I'm very, very glad there was only one song today, because we then spend all of the other time discussing the real problems. What is very clear to me, and I haven't conspired with the rest of my delegation here, is that, Comrade Kwazi, let's treat this as first session of political education. I think we're going to need the second session of political education. No more presentations. We'll based on the basis of the presentations that have been made. So we follow up on all of them, because it's very clear from the things that comrades are saying. We need to look at this matter about conferences. We are Democrats, naturally, and we want the committees to be elected. But given our actual reality, isn't there a relationship? I heard comrades raising this question. Isn't there a relationship between renewal and conference? Because you can't just say conference, conference, conference. Who are these people who are conferring? So you need to be able to say there's a process of renewal that has taken place. It has produced this kind of member and this kind of cadre. Let them have a conference. Otherwise, you might be repeating, if you reverse that process, conference first. You continue to put in positions of power people who should not even be in the ANC. So, a question has been raised. I am very glad to hear comrades raise a question like that. So it needs to be part of our discussion next time. I'm not saying, Comrade Chair, that you wait for us to come back. I think we should put in place processes of discussion among ourselves. How do we take these matters further? I'm told you are saying now that there's even a proposal that's going to come from this political school to the PTT, our own proposals. That's a very good idea. But I think we need to engage these things ourselves. But as this group that came to make this presentation, this brigade, I think we should come back for session 2 to follow up on this issue, what is to be done about all of these matters, not just renewal. Questions have been raised. Our convener had the question and the proposal was put. Would it be possible for members of the PTT to raise their hands? And people saying, no, don't do it, it'll be too embarrassing. But that's a legitimate question. This province is very critical. It's not critical. It's critical to the ANC, that's true. But it's critical to this matter of a better life for the lives of our people. The leadership of this province has got to get this thing right because of the contribution that this province will make to this task of the betterment of the lives of our people. And therefore, the people who lead us, this PTT, needs to be conscious of that. It's got a very heavy national responsibility. It's not just a provincial responsibility. Because this province owes the rest of the country an obligation. I saw today a negative thing at the sticker tape at the bottom of the television screen. I don't know if you saw. It says the World Bank has determined that the World Bank has determined that the worst performing seaport in the world is Durban. It's today, it's on the news. I was reading that, I was saying, here comes trouble. That's World Bank has made that assessment about Durban. But that draws attention to the critical importance of the quality of the leadership in this room. The leadership in this room needs to change that report so that the World Bank must say Durban is one of the best performing seaports in the world. But that depends on the quality of our leadership. The question that was being raised, can members of the PTT please raise their hands, was very legitimate. Because we are depending on that PTT and the RTTs to provide the kind of leadership that is required. So, Comrade Chair, I'm going to finish this now. So what I'm trying to say is this. I think we have more or less identified the areas of action that requires action that needs to be taken. Renewal of the ANC, whatever else. And that we say that we are going to try, coming from here, try and persuade the PTT that, PTT, why don't you take on a program like this? But we as people here would want to be part of that machinery which ensures that we actually act. act in a situation, comrades, where, as I was saying, happily we have said we want to tell the truth about our province and not paint pictures which are false, but, give hope. But let's tell the truth about our province because that's the only way in which we're going to be able to find the correct solutions to solve the challenges. I'm very, very glad indeed that this message came quite strongly from the comrades. With regard to the lecture, Mbuso Kubeka's lecture, I suggest that, comrade, you should write and say that. I'm not promising what response you are going to get, but just write and say, please come and do the Mbuso Kubeka lecture. We'll have a look at it. All right. But comrades, thanks indeed for coming and staying as long as you have, and the contributions. It's a statement we're all making. And the statement we're making, we recognize the challenges of the province. We're determined to respond to them. In the process of which, they will reimagine ANC, which is to the liking of the masses of our people. But more centrally, they will reimagine ANC, which actually addresses the concerns of the people.
Well, that is Thabo Mbeki there saying that the ANC needs to look into its selection process of electing its leaders and find a way to get credible leaders. Well, it is true that the ANC does not have leaders, and that's why the country is in crisis because the ANC has been the sole government of the country for the last 30 years. When the ANC doesn't have leadership, it seems the country does not have leadership. But now it seems South Africans are hurtful with that. It seems they're saying, well, the ANC, if you can't fix yourself, we need to part ways because us South Africans will not allow our country to fall apart just because the ANC has got problems. For the longest time, the ANC did not have its ducks in a row. It did not have its matters together. Actually, they didn't know what they were doing. The ANC did not have ability or a system that actually interviews its leaders or its candidates. They did not have a criteria to say this is what we want our leader to look like. They just say whoever gets voted in, it doesn't matter what knowledge or experience they have or what education they have, they would still take a leadership role. They would still become a mayor, they would still become a premier, they would still become a president, regardless of what they know or what education they have. And that's why those people just went into those offices and destroyed everything because they did not have the knowledge of how to lead or how to run those institutions. Today, most of the ANC's councillors, that includes mayors and everybody else that goes into higher senior positions, they do not have basic education. Most of them don't know how to read. Most of them don't even know how to write, but they are in high positions. And you can really ask yourself, what leadership are they providing in those offices? There's no leadership that they're providing at all. They're just sitting there getting paid. And that's why our municipalities have become cash cows where they just work to pay these workers and no service is ever done. The question is, can the ANC renew itself? I think if you ask that question to any South African who actually love this country, they would tell you no. The ANC cannot renew itself, at least in the next 15, 20 years. So the ANC needs to take a backseat for now and actually become an opposition political party until such time when they know how to govern themselves. Because if they do not know how to govern themselves, they cannot govern the country. They need to get their succession system in order. The people that they want to lead their positions or that they feel to be mayors, to be premiers, they need to know how they're coming in and what qualifications they have. They need to know how to interview such people to get the best of the best to lead. For now, they don't have any system that does that. They just take people and put them in positions that they don't even qualify for. So for the next 15 years, the ANC should just remain the opposition until such time when they have got their ducks in a row. Of course, they will be in a coalition that is the GNU for the longest time. But I don't think we are going to have an ANC president going forward. We're going to have other people leading the country, being the president of the country, but those people would definitely not be coming from the ANC. And that would be a good thing for the country because the country needs a savior. And we are waiting for that savior, and it's not coming from the ANC. Well, this will be the end of this segment. And if you made it to this point, thank you very much. Please remember to like and subscribe.